Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome another tanned broadcasting exec up on stage. Put a big hands together for Stefan Krubler from RTL Ad Connect.
Should I sit here? Right.
Let's move around here so I can see you properly. Right, Stefan, first of all, how are you and how has RTL Ad Connect fared during the pandemic?
Well, I'm good. I'm very happy to see you. I'm very happy to see you in live. You know, after such a long time during the pandemic, honestly, feels good to be back and see you all. So from a business perspective, yes, it was tough, I must say, but I think we made it. From an international perspective, it was really interesting to see in the pandemic we had some sectors really going down, like travel industry or retails, and then we've been able to cope with new sectors coming to TV, especially in the D2C world. So I think we made it, and I'm really happy now. We have plenty of projects. We are merging 3 companies. I'm a little bit overwhelmed, I must say, at the moment, but a lot of things on my plate.
I'm sure you're not alone. Right, quick question to the floor. How many people here, if you're fully familiar with RTL Ad Connect, stick your hand up? Right, I think in that case it is worth doing an introduction.
I still have some work to be done.
What is RTL Ad Connect and how does it fit into the wider RTL group?
So RTL Ad Connect, we are the international ad sales house of the RTL group. We're working for the group, but we're also working and represent other broadcasting group, including ITV. So we work very, very closely with Reese and Kelly. We work with Rai. We work with Antena 3 in Spain. So we have a pretty comprehensive portfolio within the group. So how does it work with our group? You know, there's been a lot going on lately, and you know, Reese mentioned it. We are in a GAFA world or FANGs world. And basically, those guys, those global players, they want to rule and to set up the rules in the video industry. And we need to act. You know, soon they will be gathering around 3 global players, 50% of the global ad spends in the world. This is not okay. So we need to react. And within RTL Group, we have what we call the local champions strategy. So there's a lot going on at the moment with our CEO trying to bring M6 and TF1 together in France, RTL and Talpa in Holland. We've been selling our assets in Belgium, but because we believe in consolidation, we believe in alliances, and we need to be stronger together at local markets. And where we come into play is at international market. We need to connect those local champions from an international perspective and really speak and fight eye-to-eye level with the GAFA.
And it's interesting, I mean, you and Reese seem to me very much to be singing from the same songbook in terms of that collaboration mantra. So you've also just restructured the RTL Ad Connect business, right? Tell us a bit about that.
So it's still work in progress. So basically it's not restructuring, it's more consolidating our international ad business. So our CEO has mandated me to basically connect and merge 3 other companies within the group. So RTL Ad Connect, SmartClip, or ad sales company within the group, and also IMS, which is the international ad sales of Gruner & Jahr, or legacy publishing group. So yeah, bringing those 3 companies together. We still don't have a new brand name, but we will soon. So during the Cannes Lions, we will announce our new branding.
Exciting. Any hints?
No, I cannot say that,
but
because my communication director is here today, so she wants to keep you know, full secrecy.
But you secured the domain name?
Yes, we did.
Too bad. Okay, so let's dive into this study. You've just done an interesting study about the evolution of TV viewing in the connected TV world. What was the study? What did you actually do? So basically, during the pandemic, we saw a resurgence of you know, people, you know, staying at home, so do it yourself, refurbishing the houses, and therefore, as a consequence, watching more TV screens. And we wanted to understand what was behind it. Of course, there is more content available, linear, non-linear, many platforms available, etc. So we could have, again, looked at it from a device perspective, from a platform perspective, from a content perspective, but we wanted to change a little bit the narrative and see, okay, what are you users thinking about this, you know, new, this resurgence of the living room, what we call it the new life of the living room, because a lot of things are happening on the TV screen. So we conducted a study within
10 countries in Europe, 10,000 people, more than 10,000 people were interviewed with different, we had some focus groups where we really for weeks asked the people what they were doing, questions and what's up, what are you doing with your TV, etc. What is your viewing behavior? And then we had more than 8,500 respondents around, the 10 countries. And in the end, really interesting information. Basically, people are accessing the top 3 activity within each home in every country is watching video content among do-it-yourself or surfing on the web. So, and the vast majority of viewing TV is on the TV screen. So 75% of watching video content at home is happening on the TV screen. So really interesting material.
And I think you also found that people are renewing their TV sets at an accelerated rate.
Yeah. So if you take a general statistic, so 92% of Europeans own a TV set. But what we saw is more than 70% have a smart TV. And 50% of those have bought a new smart TV over the last 2 years. So it means something. There's an acceleration of the penetration of smart TV or connected TVs. And among the one who bought a smart TV, 31% on average say that they are watching more TV than before, and especially the youngsters. 35% of the youngsters are watching more TV than before because now they have a connected TV. So what's interesting is those people, they expect more than just the regular traditional linear TV screen than before. Now they're expecting a bigger screen, bigger resolution, and they expect more content, so a smarter TV screen.
So I always think, if you think about the long story, it's really hard to ignore the fact that a smart TV enormously expands the range of content available to consumers.
Yes.
There's a lot more choice, deep content libraries, dozens of applications and services, as well as linear channels. When you were conducting the study, what did you find people were watching more of, and what are they watching less of?
So what is interesting, and I think that's good for us, legacy broadcasters, people are still watching by far. The first viewing habit they have on a TV screen, even if it's a smart TV, is watching linear content. So they still watch a lot of linear TV. That's a good thing. The second is they watch a lot of SVOD, which is non-ad funded. So there's a little bit of an issue here with the advertising industry. And then it's followed by BVOD or broadcaster VOD, replay, AVOD, or short form content. This is what they do in that list of priority. Of course, you have discrepancies between European markets. If I look at France, for example, and I don't know why, I can explain that. That's the feedback of our research. They are very much still into the linear TV viewing. When you look at the Brits, they're more into the BVOD viewing. Maybe it's due to the amount of content available on demand through the legacy broadcasters here in the UK. If you look at Spain, they are the #1 champions in SVOD consumption. If you look at Italy, they're more into the AVOD and even in a transactional VOD way of accessing content. So really huge discrepancies. And I think that's a little bit the challenge where I'm coming at. When you are an advertiser, when you are a CMO or an agency, it's really hard in Europe to have one-size-fits-all approach for your advertising campaign. You really need to deep dive into each and every market to see what is best suited for you to reach consumers on the CTV.
And for a business like RTL Ad Connect, you're obviously a European business trying to help clients, international clients, work across lots of geographies. Does that present some particular challenges? Does that make it hard to piece together campaigns across different markets?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why we're here, I guess, is to really try to simplify, to be a guiding light in this, level of complexity when you have, you're asking questions, how do I better reach my consumers in that particular region? I think we have a lot of research and a lot of access and a lot of content, of course, and platforms to reach the consumers within our group in order to make it more simple for you. You know, that's really interesting what we saw in this research. What I've heard so far here in the CTV Summit is there's so much content available. It's a little bit of a zoo, I would say, even for consumers. Where do I find my content? Is it paid? Is it free? Is it available on which platform, etc.? So that has pushed us, I would say, at RTL, but also some others like ITV, and I was happy to see the ITVX platform this morning, to rethink a little bit the narrative around it. So, you know, why not developing something a bit more hybrid, where people can find, you know, you want to access free content, you go on the platform. You want to have access to specific original, you know, high new movies and stuff like that, you go on the SVOD. So this hybridity is something that we are currently developing a lot in our company. We have Videoland in Holland. We have Sisplay in France, also a hybrid, moving into a hybrid model. We saw ITVX. And we have now as well an interesting one, because it's one of a kind, I think, in Europe, and it will be soon launched in the fall in Germany. It's called RTL Plus. So it's not only about hybridity in accessing video content, but it's becoming like a super app with more content. It's about audio, it's about podcast, it's about magazines to download, it's about music. So like a big entertainment hub where people can find their way into the content they want to access.
It's really interesting because you see quite a lot of that in some European markets. It's much less common here in the UK. I think the broadcasters are sticking to their knitting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about attention. So on the buy side, we've seen big agency groups getting much more interested in attention metrics, partly because they're concerned that in cluttered environments or in fragmented marketplaces, consumers are just paying less attention to the ads. I think you've looked at this in the study. Give us a sense of what you found in terms of ad attentiveness.
Yeah, that was a big surprise, I must say, and not a good surprise. You know, most of the respondents in our study said that basically they were finding ads annoying, sometimes even very much annoying. And I think, you know, it's a surprise or a semi-surprise, but that's real. And I think we need to address this problem as an industry, because this is not going in the right direction. You know, we're getting people annoyed with these ads that we are pushing to them in the way we do. So we need to make it a little bit differently. And we believe at RTL Ad Connect and within the RTL group that the combination of, you know, technology and media will somehow create opportunities in the future to better address the customers. Of course, we will not build Rome in one night. You know, I strongly believe that the future will be an ad-served future for everyone, including the broadcasters. But we're not there yet. You know, we are bridging between linear and on-demand, or non-linear. So there are many capabilities at the moment in the addressable TV, targeting capabilities around Europe, different, you know, according to different countries might be different, to address better, you know, the customers and lower this annoyance level that they are basically saying to us.
And did you get a sense of the main drivers of irritation? Is it over frequency? Is it poor creative? Is it irrelevance?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. Ads are very interruptive. So basically, when they watch content, they basically are annoyed by the interruption, or at least the way the interruption is being done. So on that respect, for instance, we believe, and we asked them that I think the level of irritation is a bit lower when it's within a long-form content rather than short-form content. They are another problem is about, you know, not being addressed with the right ad. So basically, well, I'm not interested in this ad. So again, targeting options, ad spot replacement according to you know, different capabilities or different data will make this ad more relevant. And again, the frequency. You know, I'm constantly seeing these ads. At every break, I'm seeing this ad. At every pre-roll, I'm seeing the same ad. You know, there are ways of, you know, being a little bit more effective, for instance, by using intra-household cross-screen or cross-device frequency capping, for example. This is possible today. And I think there are ways of having better solution and better ad experience for the consumers.
So work to do.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you've developed is a segmentation. You've looked at carving up the market using some of the data you've gathered. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, I was glad to see what Reese was showing a little bit earlier on contextual data. We have different sets, of course. It might be different from one country to the other again, but everything I will tell you about is really GDPR compliant and no worry. But so we have behavioral data, we can have device attribute data, we can have real-time data in order to make your ad work better. It could be betting data, it could be live score data, it could be weather data. You could have social demo, from according to the broadcasts or the live TV that you're watching. We have access to information. We have contextual data, or we can have as well first-party data that we are collecting through the subscriptions of our platform. So those are the different segments that we're looking at in order, again, to make our ads work better for you and more efficient towards the consumers.
And then for advertisers, what do these segments mean? How do you use different segments to deliver different messages?
For the advertiser's perspective, so again, it's a close collaboration with the advertiser, I guess. And that's why we're here as well. We need to connect with the clients. We need to know what do they need to reach, what are their challenges, who are their consumers, and then we can try to match with what we have in our own data sets, and then we can find ways to connect those two and try to find the best-in-class segments that will be available for the advertisers to connect to their consumers.
And a final quick question. Where can we get this study? It sounds great.
So you can surf on rtladconnect.com or Life of the Living Room or newlivingroom.com. It's a website that we have developed. There's plenty of information available. There's white paper, and there's a presentation and a video of about 1 hour, and you will have all the information you need to know about the new life of the living room.
Wonderful. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have time for one question, if anyone wants to ask Stefan anything. If not, you can download the study and we'll move straight on. No questions? Brilliant. We'll move straight on. Stefan,
thank you so
much.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Right.